close public comment. Thank you for your input. Yeah. Comments, gentlemen?
No, not really. The one, I guess I do have one comment, and that is, as a contractor, I always did find prevailing wage to be quite a bit higher than the average wage in the community. I wasn't aware there was anything the county could do about it, but yeah. Prevailing wage jobs are very interesting. They're good for the employees. They're a big gamble for the contractor himself, because if you make a mistake on your hours or your labor, every hour that goes by, your liability is greater. So, but yes, I've always felt that it was seemed a little high.
I'm glad you brought up the. I'm glad Mr. Fritz brought up the need for manufacturing. There's going to be a very interesting talk at noon at the Chamber of Commerce today. At the Elks Club, which is going to feature the Vice President of Atlas Technologies, and Jed will describe some new manufacturing that they've started, some vacuum crates that, if they take off, will be a real boon to that company and to the county as well. So I urge anyone who's free at noon to go down to the Chamber of Commerce, and I think they have a new food provider there too. It's on the newspaper. I can't remember which one it is, but I'm really looking forward to going down there. So people could go up and shake his hand and say congratulations. And it was news to me about the corporation having a right to vote per se, although as that was described by Mr. Miller, it sounded like one person could say he was from a corporation, and that one person then would vote, and I assume that would exhaust that person's vote. The person couldn't say, I'm voting for Alcoa, and then I can also vote for myself.
There's some situations where it's depends on the property owner. The property owner could be a corporation. It'd be interesting to look at that RCW and see how it reads.
I don't understand how that works.
The essays and novels by Margaret Atwood cover this topic quite extensively. She paints a pretty grim picture of the United States if it becomes overly controlled by corporations. It's a good read.
Yep.
Does the county administrator have any comments on?
Just to note that Roger Short is, in addition to being having his own farm, is on the board of supervisors for the conservation district. And what he noted at the beginning of his remarks is I did meet with the board of supervisors last week to talk about two things. One was about the community development director selection process, but also to talk about voluntary stewardship. And we did have a very good exchange with the supervisors and the conservation district staff. And also there was a representative from the Federal Natural Resource Conservation Service and also from the State Conservation Commission. Staffer was there as well, so it was a very good discussion. Look forward to continuing the discussion with commissioners this afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock if anybody's interested. So, I think Roger has provided, he ran out of time to get through all his remarks, but I think you have it in writing so that you can read that at your leisure. So I appreciate Roger coming down this morning and sharing his thoughts on this. And also appreciate other folks that spoke, and Happy New Year to you, and thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
We have a consent agenda.
And I note that Madam
Apologize
Treasurer
for
is
the-
here. One of the items on the
Hey,
consent
Liz.
agenda is declaring surplus property. So
Right. Painful to lose our halos.
And perhaps, what is an endorser? Sounds like a person to me. That sounds like probably a piece of equipment.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
That's on the,
I think that we have a member of county government here who could tell us what that is, if you wouldn't mind to.
It is a machine that you run checks through that puts the county endorsement on the check before it goes to the bank.
I asked the question earlier in the week. I thought we were getting rid of a person or a corporation.
I'm pleased to see the Rick Collison Trail working down here. So I'll go ahead and read the consent agenda.
Yeah. Second.
You see some working done at the fairgrounds. I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we adopt the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now we have our traditional briefing session on what we've been doing and what's coming up for the week.
The one change that the Substance Abuse Advisory Board, Don, you agreed to take that on for me. I
Right.
really appreciate that. We talked about that at our afternoon session a while back about possibly doing that, and appreciate that. And then I guess the news for me this weekend, I agreed to take on the interim chair with OLECAP for the next 3 months till middle of March, while we get new board members, and to see that through. Probably more board experience than others that are on there right now. So it's a busy time for OLECAP. The housing issue was in the paper, but that's really just a minor piece of it. Those houses. More than likely, we're looking to give them to like the housing authority or have somebody else who could keep them in affordable housing. There's much deeper issues with OLECAP that really need to be addressed, and have been for the past year or so. It's been a difficult time in this downturn of the economy for them, and the newspaper actually did a pretty good job of reporting on it as far as it goes. But we have some real challenges ahead of us, and as I mentioned, the state and the federal government haven't been making it easier with their uncertainty at that level of which makes it real difficult to plan. Maybe you're experiencing that in some of your boards, but I'm finding that a number of them where it's real hard to set a budget and really know what you're going to do next year when you don't know what they're going to do next year. But optimistic about the group, that's working on this, and we do have some board members, potential board members that will be looking at it, so keep you posted on how things go.
Well, I think you deserve a pat on the back. It's stepping up at a tough time. And I think they're fortunate that you're doing that. So thank you.
That's why you get the big bucks, as people often tell you. But yeah, it's a busy year for me, but that's okay. It's important.
went to an interesting meeting Wednesday. It was a meeting in which the work of our guardians ad litem was discussed. And we have about 25 volunteers who serve as advocates for the children who have been removed from the home for suspected abuse or neglect from the parents or the caretakers. And the guardian ad litem, as you probably know, serve as an advocate for the kids. It's described as a very rewarding and frustrating and challenging job. And Paula Martin, who works for our court services, is seeking more volunteers. So there are people who are looking for ways to make a real powerful contribution to a child. The Guardian Ad Litem program is something we're looking into. If anyone here has friends or knows of people who would be good advocates for children, we urge you to contact Paula Martin up in the court services. They have good training, so folks learn how to provide the best service possible.
Yeah, I've written letters of recommendation for people looking for that before, but it's a real important job, and it's a huge contribution to some people's lives. You can really make an impact. A lot of the people that do that, and it is a good way to be involved and really help somebody.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned not the uncertainty around the OLECAP board. The State Board of Health will be meeting on Wednesday, and I'm still chairing that. The budget and the resources available to us, of course, are still up in the air. We are down one FTE right now, and there's been a moratorium placed on new rulemaking. We're going to get one new member announced to the board on Wednesday. So it's going to be tough for a while. I'm worried about morale and effectiveness for our boards at state level or at county level. We don't know what the funding's going to be. Then later in the week, I'll be meeting with the staff for Norm Dix's office and Patty Murray's to look at some of the details on the Wild Olympics and how to, what way we would want to move that forward.
Yeah, I'll be meeting with them at a different time.
Yeah, I think they're going to just say hello to you guys. And Philip, I think you're going to be somewhere else at that time.
Right.
I'll take notes.
I went to the ceremony for the Kennewick, the new guardian here. David Mosley was here and spoke, as well as representatives from both sides, Island County and Jefferson County. They kept stressing the fact that it came in under budget and ahead of schedule. So that's good news. There's several. I'll be in Olympia this week and next week. I'm checking in to see when the Heritage Caucus meets, because I will be in Olympia anyway for the Olympic Air Pollution Control meeting. Air pollution control. So I think the Heritage Caucus starts at 7 o'clock in the morning of the same day as the Olympic Air Pollution. Or as ORCA. I like to go in the Heritage Caucus just because it's kind of you meet the people that are involved in historic preservation, and sometimes it helps because they can help lobby. The governor's husband is on that board as well.
First Mike.
First Mike, and For years, Lynn Kessler was the chair of that, and now it's gone to Mr. Vanderway, Representative Vanderway. So it stayed local. On the 17th, I'd like to bring this up. It's a lady that used to work for the government, was an inspector for the EPA on biomass in Florida, will be speaking at Cala Point. She believes that the new biomass plant is going to clean up the air substantially. So it's an interesting point of view. Anybody interested in that? I know there's a lot of interest about the biomass at Fort Townsend paper, so I just thought I'd bring that up.
When is that, Paul?
The 17th, do you know what time it is?
No, I think it's in an email.
I think it's 7 o'clock. And then the Board of Health will have somebody up from ecology, probably in February, to talk about the particulate matter primarily and the potential health effects to the county.
So looking that far ahead, on the 19th, you'll be going to LSC, I think, too.
19th, I'll be going to LSC, so I will not be able to go to the health board meeting, so hopefully the two of you can go. My first meeting as chair of the health